Hi, welcome back to Racehouse with me, Jolie.
And me, Darren Reeves.
Well, we have never done this before, but because we're in Abu Dhabi, we're going to do another podcast episode. And this is Abu Dhabi Grand Prix Free Practice Day, FP1, was it FP2?
FP1 and FP2, and we've seen both today, Joe. And one was in the sunlight, beautiful day today.
Beautiful.
And one was at sunset into the dark, and it was a bit of a special moment for me today. But, you tell me what you felt about the ambience today, Joe. What did you think?
Well,
you experienced all of it.
Being down in the marina with all the yachts and everything, I mean, it's such a party vibe. But everyone is there to see the cars, and it's incredible. You know, we're surrounded by such amazing, opulence, and it's such a privilege to be down there. We got to see the cars on the track, and this is what we're here for. They've done so well to come from Vegas over to Abu Dhabi, as we said in the preview episode, because it takes a toll. It takes such a toll.
It certainly does.
And now they're driving at 200 miles an hour.
It's crazy. They've got to be so alert. Now, we've met a few people in the last 24 hours that were in Vegas and are now here, and the time differences are just insane. 12 hours, but you have to remember it was a night race in Vegas. This is a daytime race. So everything is crazy. And, we've met some fans that were in Vegas and come over. We've met some marshals yesterday that were in Vegas.
Well, let's talk about Vegas. I mean, they said it was a great show. I mean, that was our conclusion at the end of it.
It was,
and with
definitely
a new Grand Prix, let's call it a new Grand Prix, because it is really.
Yeah, it is.
There's going to be 100 teething problems, and next year's going to be better and slicker. And I think for what they wanted to achieve, they did an amazing job. I think they did an amazing job. And it's one that, say Miami now really needs to up their game.
Yeah.
That was the big new US one, but Vegas smashed it out of the park. And Abu Dhabi knows this, so Abu Dhabi is not going to go without a bang. We've seen this already. There's got to be 200 yachts lined up in the marina. We went to Paddock Club. We had a walk around yesterday. We did a pit lane walk. We went to the grandstands. We went through the fan zones. We had such a great time. We're bumping into people, a lot of people I know because I live in the area, and we're meeting people from all over the world. It's amazing.
It's been wonderful to see, because thinking the championship is over, the spectacle is still insanely huge, Joe. And at the W Hotel, what an iconic building. And we're
right there.
We're right there.
Here's the photo. No, we're not doing photos, but we'll put some photos up on Instagram. It's amazing. It's amazing.
I've got to say, it's a proper spectacle, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Joe, for me, the atmosphere today, being on the yacht, we're very, very lucky. But I was playing piano and singing on a yacht today.
Yeah.
And I actually, when the red flags came out for FP2, when Science crashed, I just thought, actually, we need to be doing something now and entertain the crowd on the yacht, the guests on the yacht, better word.
Yeah.
And so I got up, I was playing, we had a sax player playing with us as well, and then the cars came out, and I was there serenading the cars as they came under the bridge of and the sun was coming down, the lights were coming on the hotel.
That's worth a photo.
I just had a little moment, Joe. I had a little moment.
I was behind you.
What am I doing? This is.
I was like, why is he still playing when the cars are on track? And it's usually Paddock Club rules.
Yeah.
And I was like, he's enjoying this.
Yeah, I was. I was really enjoying it, thinking, okay, this is great. All right, I was playing Summer of '69, or maybe My Life by Billy Joel.
Yeah.
But it was a moment of. They were right there in front of me, and I was banging it out like crazy.
Mate,
people taking videos.
It's dreams coming true.
It was. So it's been a great day. Now, what has happened in FP1 today is FP1 for the first session of the day was all about the third drivers of each team. Every team has to put 2 rookies into FP1.
That's right.
Throughout the season. Now, Joe, what's going on here?
Well, it's because the rookies are there.
Right.
So we actually saw your favourite man, Felipe Drogovic.
There he was.
Hey.
I love saying it. Felipe Drogovic. That's a great name. So he was in the Aston Martin today, and we saw a number of drivers, really. Schwartzman in the Ferrari for Leclerc. And but there was ones I'd never heard of.
Frederick Vesti.
Frederick Vesti was in there. That's right.
Hamilton's car, was that Hamilton's?
I'm not. Yes, it was, because Russell was fastest actually. But sadly, Oliver Bearman, our Brit, was 20th in the Haas. today.
Well,
and he's the one I'm cheering on. It wasn't a race.
We'd
but
love to see him in. Jack Doohan as well, was in the Alpine.
But in Red Bull, Jack Dennis, who has been...
Jake Dennis,
sorry, that's me. He's been racing in Formula 3. And Théo Pourchaire, who is the F2 champion, I believe. I would have to double check, but he's leading it yet. So he, as champion, won't be able to race in F2 next season.
Yeah, it's a funny thing.
He's only got this third driver role in Formula 1. But then listen to me, he's only got it. The trouble is he's a driver and wants to be competing and wants to be racing.
He's hanging around.
And needs to be racing as well.
Alpine have just signed Mick Schumacher, I think, as well.
From Mercedes.
To sign another series, a global endurance, I think, that he's going to do.
Right.
To give him some driving time. All these guys are swimming around. They're hanging around the paddock. Who knows? There's a good pool of talent out there, and we saw some today on the track.
Well, we've talked about it in previous podcasts. We need more cars on the track. We need 24 cars. Yeah. We've got Andretti bringing cars in. We've got Audi coming in, hopefully, but taking over a team. We need to see 24 cars on track, and the teams have got to accept that for the sake of seeing the best drivers.
What about incidents today for practice?
So FP2, quite early on, I think 8 minutes in. Carlos Sainz lost the back end at turn 3, span out, and had quite a heavy one into the barriers. So that brought out the red flag, and that was about maybe 20-25 minutes, quite a long time. And so just as they start to go out again, Nico Hülkenberg banged his Haas, just reversed it into the barriers. So then it's red flag again. But of course, I was performing at this point, Joe, and of course, as I've just said. So what did happen though? Basically, Charles Leclerc was fastest again. Now, Charles Leclerc was fastest in every free practice last week at Vegas. Here he is again, topping the charts. He wasn't in FP1, so couldn't. So Leclerc is putting it in every session right now, and we know he could have won that race last week.
That's why he's in my top 3. He's in my top 3 for this weekend.
Yep. And Lando second with Max third, but Valtteri fourth in the Alpha. Where's that come from?
I always find that practice is a bit like poker. They don't quite go as fast. They don't quite push it. No. They don't want to really push the car.
Well, I wonder if there's a little bit of Alfa Romeo's last race, because it's being rebadged next season.
It's been rebadged. We've heard.
Shall we just try and push ourselves up a little bit? I don't know. I'm not sure. But obviously with Sainz and Hülkenberg at the back, you've got Sargent and Magnussen, and Albert. Really, it's normal order resumes. Exactly. when you look at what happened today. Daniel Ricciardo faster than Tsunoda. I like to see that because I want Daniel to do really, really well.
Yeah.
And we got Piastri there in 10th, so both McLarens in the top 10 again. There's you with your shirt, Joe.
I'm in the shirt. I mean, I was told not to wear the shirt, but I'm wearing the shirt because it's the only opportunity I probably will get to because we're on a very fancy yacht. But look, let's see how it translates to qualifying. Let's see how they've got FP3 tomorrow.
FP3 tomorrow afternoon, and then qualifying. Once it's dark, it's going to be race conditions. And I can't wait. And do you know what I realised today? I was stood on the yacht after I'd played and watching the cars. I think it was the F2 cars actually. I watched afterwards, and I suddenly realised this is my first night race.
Oh,
this is a new one.
Are you joking?
So I'm not just an Abu Dhabi virgin. I'm a night race virgin.
My first race was a night race. I was very happy to see the daytime.
Well, so when we first started doing night races and dusk races, I couldn't quite work out why. But I've got to say, these cars under these lights
look amazing,
look phenomenal.
Yeah. Oh, I'm happy you said that.
Wow. Yeah.
This was my first taste of it. I mean, I got offered to go to Silverstone many moons ago and I couldn't go, but Abu Dhabi was my first. And there's something about it being at night. It just makes it I don't know, a bit more fun as well. I used to, we watched Malaysia for many years, and now the Middle East ones, Vegas now a night race. It adds a whole different element.
Singapore, you meant, didn't you?
Singapore, sorry.
It's not Malaysia. We lost that now.
Just as, a city can just change. London looks different at night time than daytime, as Dubai does or any other city. So, I'm so happy as well. It's your first night race.
It is.
It's great.
So I'm excited. I'm really excited.
And we did the first track walk together.
We did.
That's good.
Absolutely.
And we spoke to a first marshal together. That was Tim yesterday who joined us on the preview, talking about marshals and how that works. And we have a whole table behind us These guys are scrutineers. Say hi. Wave.
There we go. There's the boys.
And do one of you want to come over?
Come on.
Oh, here we go.
He's coming. He's coming.
There you go.
Come and join in with us.
Come and join us in the middle. All right, what's your name and where are you from?
Matthew, I'm from Dubai.
Oh, Dubai, fantastic. Right,
Joe,
let's make
fellow
sure you're in
Dubai.
shot. Fellow Dubai.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to pass you the mic. You can talk to Darren.
Okay.
But you're a scrutineer. Can you tell us a bit more about what scrutineering is and what you do?
Sure. So basically what we're trying to do is ensure that the cars are all safe, everything's fair, everyone's working to the regulations. And so we're keeping an eye on things to make sure it's all fair game.
Well, as fans, you know, we're watching it on the television. We see that you pull cars in randomly at any point and have the cones out and get them in. And it's always like, oh, no, they've pulled them in now. It's like feel like the naughty boy club.
Yeah.
So what is it you're doing when those cars come in randomly?
So there's a few different checks throughout the weekend.
Yep.
But typically it's making sure that the weight is correct. There's a minimum weight they've got to adhere to. There are some measurements that sometimes get taken.
Yes. Is that on the wings of how they've got the wings?
On the wings, it could also be, you know, if you saw the incident a few races ago where there was some disqualifications.
I was going to ask you about that in a minute.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's one of the checks that are done after the race.
Yes.
So there's a few things, but it's quite standard.
Yep.
All the teams know that it's going to happen.
Yes.
It is random, and it's quite binary. So you've got, you know, templates and things where it either fits or it doesn't.
Yes.
They're either at the weight or they're not. So,
Yes.
you know, it's just part of the game.
And how many races do you get to do a season?
So me personally, I only do the Abu Dhabi race.
Right. Okay. So you're here for this one.
But there are scrutineers who travel around and can do other races.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
And is there a reason that you just do Abu Dhabi? Is it choice or is it opportunity?
it's, I mean, look, I've been doing the Formula One here since it started.
Yes.
It's, you know, for as far as scrutineering is concerned, once you reach a certain level of accreditation, you can do other events.
Right.
But I do this one because it's close and I'm busy.
Yeah. And are you a Formula One fan as well?
Yeah,
Or a
absolutely.
motorsport fan? Do you do other motorsports?
We do, so as scrutineers for EMSO, which is, you know, the UAE-based motorsports authority. So we do the Baja Rally, we do the Formula 4, we do events at the Autodrome. So yeah, there's plenty of events we scrutinize.
Wonderful, wonderful. My son races in the British Karting Championships, and is in scrutineering first thing in the morning to have everything checked on the kart, and I think they do a fantastic job at the karting tracks all around the UK is where we do it, and how they sort of just police the dropped noses if they've had a bump, and any sort of passing under yellow flag conditions, and much. So I've seen it with my son much closer than what I really see on television. So now I want to ask you the question about COTA and know your view of it. But Joe and I have both discussed the disqualifications of Hamilton and Leclerc at quite great lengths, and we believe that we would like the podium or the result to be delayed a little bit to give you guys more time. How long does it take to scrutineer a car once it comes into Parc Ferme after a race?
So typically it's I'd say about 90 minutes by the time we get through all of them. So it is a bit of a delay if you're going to wait for that, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, because I thought maybe we could put an artist on to sing a few songs, you know, while we wait, because my biggest bugbear is that, you know, you've won the race, you've got your 1, 2, 3, and they're up on the podium, they take the photo, and that is the photo for the rest of time for that race, and then suddenly, oh no, they're disqualified because of X, Y, Z. Like, I mean, it's just like, I just feel that's it's really unfair, because you can't go back to that podium. Whoever was 4th or 5th, they'll never get that podium moment.
Yeah,
I mean, it
Carlos
seems so
Carlos
unfair.
has had that a few times happen to him.
Don't you think?
Yeah, look, it is, but I mean that's just part of racing. There's a whole host of things. You've got, you know, penalties and disqualifications that happen a few races, you know, or a few races later.
Yes.
So it's just part of the game. It is a fair bit of work to get done. You know, you are physically manoeuvring all these cars on trolleys.
Yes.
And you're going kind of in and out of the area that you do the template checks and the weights, etc. So look, it's just part of it. But to be honest, these days, it ends up in a meme or it ends up in a funny Instagram story.
It does.
So it's good value, right?
Exactly, and we've had a few things like that happen as well. So the point is, it's all part of the entertainment. What I would say at the track is none of the fans go home for hours, do they? I've been on the Silverstone track after a race, waiting for a driver to come out, waiting for things to happen. So people don't disappear. So I would delay the podium by a few minutes anyway,
But if it is 90 minutes, then
90 minutes is a long time, isn't it? It is for TV anyway.
Yeah, it is for TV, certainly, for the podium. So tell us, what are you going to randomly check this Sunday for the race?
And think of us when you're doing it.
Yeah. So definitely this weekend there will be random checks of random things.
Of course, right. Or without a doubt, guarantee it.
Yeah.
What could that include? What things would you look at which could be picked up randomly?
Look, there's as far as the pit lane set up, every race, it's not a very random check. In pit lane they'll set up a weigh scale. Right, so it will always be weight checks.
It's always weight, yeah. What is the weight that you're looking?
The actual weight?
Yes, that you're looking for.
Google it. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, I'm afraid. Yeah, sorry.
Something in my mind is saying 600 kilos, and I need to check it whether it's with or without the driver. Oh, Joe is going to go into Google.
Go on Google. It will be with the driver, because what you'll notice is they'll weigh the cars.
Yes.
And the drivers will get out of the cars.
Because they always get out and weigh themselves, don't they?
So
with helmet and everything with them. Yes.
There is a minimum weight, which if your son is doing karting, it'll be the same thing.
Yes.
Right?
That's absolutely
so my
right.
son races karts as well, so he's in the championship here. But it's actually interesting that you. So what have we got? 722.
So they're heavier, of course they are now. Yes, they're bigger, aren't they? Wider, big lumps of.
They are a
beasts.
big car, and what you'll notice is, on the, they'll pass the finish line, they'll do a cool down lap.
Yes.
And they'll intentionally go off the racing
line.
That's
right.
And they're picking up all the rubber marbles that
stick
to the tyres to just
bring the weight up a little bit. Yeah.
But interesting point about the karting scrutineering, because I'll be on this side of the fence this weekend. Next weekend, I'll be on the other side.
You're on Dad's side, yes.
And I've got one eye on the scrutineers to make sure, are you doing things the right way?
Of course. Well, it's brilliant, and I'm really pleased that he's doing that. So I wish him the best of luck as well.
Thank
you so much, and thanks so much, Matthew, for joining us.
Yeah, it's been a total joy.
Racehouse.
Lovely to meet you, and good luck this
weekend.
Have
a great race. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
And thank you so much to the scrutineers.
We've done it, boys. Yay! You're doing a great job.
Well, what a treat. Marshall's yesterday, scrutineers.
Yeah.
I mean, one day we'll have a driver. There we go.
Well, Joe, I've got to run, mate, because I've got another meeting to do.
You got to go.
So
we're busy guys.
I think doing Racehouse live from not live, but in Abu Dhabi. We are live.
We are live. This is live from Abu Dhabi.
And to get to talk to people marshalling this race this weekend, to people scrutineering this race this weekend. We just need someone to drive this race this weekend, and we've done well, haven't we?
We're going to be back. Whether we do a quali one, who knows? We'll try our best. But thanks. Like and subscribe to Racehouse. We're on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, and all the others. So for the meantime, it's bye from me, Jolie.
And it's goodbye from me, Darren Reeves.
Take care.